Right now, I have to stop saying.
Well, somehow they dug themselves out of a 2-goal hole and got a point. Should they have? I don't know. It was a pretty ugly game for a while. They lose in overtime, but actually have a point to show for it to bring home before the start of a homestand on Tuesday. So let's talk about it. We've got the belated birthday boy. We've got Sam, a.k.a. I was going to say the restroom assassin, but we'll just leave it at that for now. John Andersen is here. I'm here. Let's start the DLLS Stars postgame show.
Get ready, boys.
Yeah, the homecoming or the return for Mikko Rantanen could have been a little bit better for the Dallas Stars as they lose 4-3 in overtime to the Colorado Avalanche this afternoon. The sun's still out here in Dallas. We are in the lounge studio. It's Craig Ludwig, Sam Nestler, John Andersen, our producer. I'm Owen Newkirk, and we are here to talk hockey with you and anything else you want to get into. So
talk
get
hockey,
into
talk
those
hockey with me.
super chats.
Isn't that one of our fans? Talk hockey with me.
It is. That's Jordan.
That's funny. Good.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. And let's get right to it. The vast majority of this game felt like the Stars were going to lose. They didn't create much in the way of offense. They didn't create much in the way of shots, puck possession, and it felt like the Avalanche were just kind of toying with them and had a 2-goal lead and just kind of managing the game. All of a sudden, a couple of quick goals and it's close. They get to overtime. Anything could happen, and then just like that, Makar does. Well, that's the recap, guys. Should we go home?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. But
you
all
take
seriousness,
the point and get out of town.
I mean, they're kind of fortunate to have stolen a point today.
Yeah. Take it and leave. Be happy with one. Shouldn't have got any.
Sam?
Yes.
What
All
he
right.
said.
Well, the next 59 minutes are going to go swimmingly, I can
Something
see.
like that.
So let's do what they all love. Let's talk about it. That first period actually led to a Stars lead, believe it or not. They scored the first goal in the game. And it was completely against the run of play in the sense that the Stars didn't create much. The Avalanche had a power play. Dallas had yet to have a shot on goal, and their first one goes in, and it's Jason Robertson, an assist from Mikko Rantanen, the pass by Hintz. This was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, and it was Mikko Rantanen. I think that really starts the whole play. I mean, he pickpockets, obviously, a former teammate of his, and Taves, and I don't think Taves expected him to come in from behind. He just lifts his stick. And again, all three of these guys, the way that they can move the puck, they get it on their stick and get it off their stick. And Rantanen to Rupe, and Rupe, he immediately goes right back. Wedgwood didn't even seem to bite on anything. It was odd because the puck was right in front of Wedgwood, and it immediately goes to Robo, and it seemed like there was an empty net there. But I don't know. Maybe I'm guessing Wedgwood thought he figured it was in fired at the net right away.
Yeah, I think Wedgwood almost got caught twice. Rope kind of surprised him up front. He thought he was going to shoot it, and then as soon as he passes it, he kind of looks like he makes that last ditch effort to save it instead of pushing across, thinking he's not going to get there. But because Robo takes that extra 2 or 3 seconds before he shoots it, it's like it makes Wedgwood look way out of position. But what the Rope Hintz has done that lately. Like when he's playing, he looks so confident to make those little quick passes. He's done it in the bumper on the power play. He did it a bunch on that trip back east before or right after the Four Nations break, and tonight again a little one touch. I love it.
It's that little vision that good players have. I believe that Rope knew exactly where Robo was before Rantanen even got the puck.
Yeah.
And so once he knows if it does come to him, he knows that his little buddy is off to his right, and it's exactly how it works out.
The first, I forgot to mention, the first penalty of the game, the Avs power play, Stars killed it off, although I had 3 quality chances for Colorado. None of them were particularly high danger, but again, power play sets the tone early. Was a Jamie Benn interference on the goalie, which was, as we looked through it, at first on seeing it live, I went, I don't know if there's anything there. And then we watched the replay. You can kind of see he never slowed up. or at least not enough, and he bumped into Wedgwood.
He kind of, it looked like he knew he was just gonna, kind of grind him a little bit. But yeah, he doesn't do anything to stop his momentum before he gets there.
So that's the first one. An offensive zone penalty on your captain. They get a power play. They don't score. Robertson scores, and then this is a tough one. It's a penalty. Jamie Benn goes through on, trying to remember who it was now. Was it Lindgren? He catches somebody for the Avalanche up in the face. I think it was a defenseman. Either way, it's a 4-minute double minor. It's high sticking. They actually kill off the first half of the double minor as Nichushkin gets the best chance. He gets a one-timer right in that bumper position, right in between the hash marks. Anders fights that one off amongst saves on Makar and Colton. But then it's Martin Necas on a tip play from a Makar shot on the second half of that double minor that ties it. Power play goal, and it's 1-1.
Was that Beck that was going out to Makar? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I think the guys nowadays, everybody plays with speed. I think for Beck, it reminded me of Guy Carbonneau back in the day. Like, Beck comes out to Makar hard and fast and wants to make sure that he can probably take time and space away. But knowing Makar with his hands, he just kind of pulls it back, and then somehow he finds a seam where I know what Carbonneau would have done. He'd have gotten about halfway there, and he'd have stopped, and he'd have made sure he was in front of the puck. The mistake that's made a lot of times from players that are trying to block a shot is they line themselves up with the player, and you got to line yourself up. Is he right-handed or left-handed? You're going to be in the puck lane, and I think when Beck came out hard, it allowed Makar to find a little seam through there, and Necas was just standing all alone.
Pretty good at that.
Yeah, I've seen him do that once or twice before.
Made Steele look like
I think sometimes he kind of fades off to his right and then kind of goes back to the left sometimes when he gets close to the net.
He's good at.
Do we want to talk about that goal right now or no?
Was it the other one? You were talking about the other one?
Yeah, I'm talking about the last one.
Yeah. No, I just think he's so good at knowing where we talked about the approach, right? The approach of a shot blocker. If there's any team or any person to do it slowly and take your time against coming out to the point, it's number 8 in Colorado. And I think he's so good at that first move. It's not always the crazy dancing stick handling. Sometimes he just catches a pass and sees exactly where the guy's coming. If he's a little bit to his left, takes an inch step to his right when he catches the pass, first step, and opens a lane. Sometimes it's that quick, and it's just impressive.
Movie reference, Matrix. How everything slows down. Is that kind of what it was about?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sick reference, though, bro.
Oh, thanks, bud.
Dude, your references are out of control. Everyone knows that.
What, are you serious? Is that a line from that movie?
No,
Oh.
that's definitely that's TJ, isn't it?
Yeah, that's super bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or sorry,
Anyway.
that's not super bad.
No.
It's End of the World movie, whatever the hell.
This is the end.
Yeah,
This is the end. Yes.
See, the
So I
one,
did this.
the one time I get something right, I can't even talk about it.
No, you were good.
Well, we were also stunned you made a movie reference when
No,
every
but
time we
it-
try to reference
my
movies, you
point
say,
was-
I'm not a movie guy.
Everything slows down for Makar.
Yeah.
It just seems like it. He just sees the game at another level, and the speed that comes at him, it doesn't affect him at all. Even areas he wants to dangle, like on the offensive blue line. We've seen Quinn do this, and Hughes do this in Vancouver. They have no fear with tap dancing on the offensive blue line. There's no fear that puck's gonna bobble, but then they do have the quickness and the ability. If it does, they can generally get back. But again, we see this all the time with Makar. Is he can pause that extra second, no fear, and then he finds that tiny little seam through somebody to get up to the front of the net.
At the end of the first period, these shots were Colorado 13 to Dallas 4. The shot attempts were 22 to 8. The only thing that I could say that was somewhat positive was neither team had a lot of high danger chances. So, well, Colorado had it in their zone and maybe they were wearing Dallas down. Dallas didn't let them get interior very much, but really, Luds, it was a very successful period for the Avalanche.
Yeah, it was like they were toying with them, and they just said, we're going to keep the puck for as long as we have it. You guys don't have an opportunity to get to the other end. And we sat right there to the end of the game when that third one went in, and like, let's just get a point here, because you probably didn't deserve to be where you were at the way that the most of the game unfolded.
So then you go to the second period, and Dallas actually had a power play and a great chance after that power play. The power play wasn't great. They had one shot from Robertson. Otherwise, it was pretty anemic. They spent more time setting up than really getting a good scoring chance. And we were talking about how it felt like they were working the puck around too much. They've gotten away from what was so good about their power play, which is getting the puck to the net, retrievals, and causing chaos.
Yeah, well, in Colorado is so good at getting in lanes. I mean, they don't stop, and they blocked a lot of shots, and they make you look for another play because when you don't get it up as quick as you possibly can, they all kind of recover to the middle of the ice. And so all of a sudden now you got to move it down because that lane closed up. And so they do a good job of trying to keep you on the perimeter as much as they can.
What's the solution there, Lutz? Because we talked about it, how that was a perfect example of a power play where you're saying you could even hear Pete DeBoer saying, shoot the puck. Somebody shoot the puck, because not only is the power play not getting shots, but the whole game they had 8 or 9 shots basically. What's the solution when, because you can't just throw a puck towards the net. It could get blocked and go the other way. You can't be stupid about it. What's the way to solve that? Just kind of chunking it into that area from down low?
For me, what was difficult to play when you did that from a penalty killing standpoint is when you went into Gretzky's office and you went behind the net. And when you start to work it from behind the net, it makes the 4 guys turn around.
Yeah.
And so now you're facing basically the wrong way. You got a lot of people behind you. And so now it kind of loosens things up and you have to back off a little bit. That would be my opinion when you're having those problems. But I think sometimes it starts right off the hop. You know, I think they can – it looks like when they get into the zone sometimes, and if you just play that directness and you can get pucks there early, because the ones that are scrambling and rebounds is when you generally get a PK unit out of its form, out of its shape, and you kind of get them chasing. You kind of want it – I'm moving the puck as somebody's coming to me. And it would never be me on the power play, obviously, but anytime you press hard and the puck is going by you, then you almost got to go back and set up again.
It was a really, really good chance for Mikael Granlund, who was quiet in this game until all of a sudden he gets a puck right in the slot and he hits the left post. And it was the Stars' best chance of the entire second period. Sadly, that's the only one that came really close to being a threat to Scott Wedgwood in the middle frame. And then Val Nichushkin gave Colorado the lead with a wrist shot from the right circle, his 17th of the year. It was 6:24 into the middle period. And Brock Nelson, who doesn't take a starring role in this game, does some really nice supporting plays. There you go, John. And this screen in front really made it hard for Ottinger to see the puck cleanly as it went through. It's a good shot, but is one that you would like to see your goalie maybe do a little bit better on?
Yeah, again, I have a hard time looking at goalies when you can't see what happens from in front. You have to kind of have the perception from behind the net. But this is, for me, this is a veteran player against a rookie player. Brock Nelson, as he starts to drive from the right wing side, he starts to go to the middle of the ice. He goes up against Bischel. He gets Bischel to keep his momentum moving to his right. And then what he does is he kind of stops, he pauses, and now he's got Bischel. He just made some space between them. And then once he backs in to Jake, he gets on top of the blue paint, but now all of a sudden Bischel's on the outside looking in. And you can see right here from this angle, this is a little different because it's not from behind the net. It looks like you can't even see Jake's head. So it's hard to tell if Jake really has his eyes on the puck or if he's looking off to the right side and looking around. And again, Val, this is the window that Nichushkin can hit. He gets the puck in a perfect spot. Look where he is. He's almost on the top of the circle. And it's just a perfect shot. But again, for me, it's because Nelson brings the guy that's supposed to be handling him in front of the net, gets him going the wrong way, and then he spins off. And now all of a sudden he gains the advantage in front of the net, just stands upright, makes himself big, and makes it, your goaltender try to look around. And unfortunately for Jake, he never catches up with it.
So it is 2-1 at that point, and we're just kind of waiting to see if Dallas is going to find anything offensively. And instead, it's an off-speed goal by Drouin that makes it 3-1. And I felt like that was going to be the dagger in this game. It turned out not to be, but this was, again, first time you see it go in and go, oh, come on, we want to see a save there. But he literally flubs his one-timer, and it's like this changeup that he's reading fastball, and it goes in a completely different direction than he's tracking and goes in the net.
Well, when the puck comes from your goaltender's right to left, center to one side to the other, and there's players there, there's always an opportunity that somebody get in the vision. I think for Leon this time on this particular play, when it's a one-timer from the side there, I think he needs to go down. And right here, the puck moves from the middle of the ice, and you can tell how much net is left. There's a lot of there's a lot of net to look at right here, but the puck is in motion right now. It's probably around the top of the circle somewhere in there. I just think right here, if Bichsel goes down, your goaltender has a view of the shot. Bichsel takes the bottom of the ice, and then what happens, like you said, he doesn't get a lot of it. But right now, this is when the puck is starting to flutter on him. It comes off his stick, it's fluttering. You can see how much, good. He's taken a lot of Jake's eyes away from by standing up. Now, if he was laying down. Huh?
Look where he's shooting that from.
Yeah, I know. I mean, again, it's one of those kind of shots. This is where I think Leon Draisaitl has 60 goals this year or something like that.
If
40 of them
Drouin
go
hits
from there.
that cleanly and with the pace that he was intending, I think Jake probably makes that save.
Well, but my point is, if Bichsel lays down here, I take the bottom of the ice. Jake sees everything. Well, at least he sees a lot more than when you've got a 6'7", 250-pound guy standing in front of you.
Making yourself big.
And it's easy just to slide, take the bottom of the ice away. But again, I'm not putting this on Bichsel either. But it's just that I don't know how much of this, again, that Jake sees, but you would think from a shot coming over here. And this one actually hit the bar in the center of the net.
Yeah, right over the collarbone.
Yeah, so it goes over his right shoulder. And I don't know how much of that he really sees. Again, it's tough to call it when you're not looking at it from behind the net.
I think for Jake, this game was actually the opposite of what we talked about on Friday, where we talked about him maybe being too nonchalant or not aggressive enough. I think against Colorado, it's one of the games where you have to be a little less aggressive because they play so much east-west. They make those quick passes you're talking about, that if you over-exaggerate a slide, which we'll get to exactly that in the overtime, that's when you can get beat against this team. And I think that's Jake coming out too far. Not too far. He's in the right position, but it's my belief as watching Jake is that he's sliding so hard to get over to it that he's unable to even see that it's fluttering towards him and going against the grain. It's a weird goal.
I think that's supposed to be the purpose of a man-on-man, is that you've got people tied up and they can't make these passes. But again, you're playing against a really obviously skilled team. And when there's one little breakdown in a man-on-man thing, that's what happens is there's cracks start to open up.
Let's talk about the third period and overtime next here on the DLLS Dallas Stars postgame show.
The cells in our bodies are the building blocks of life. Timeline is a supplement that works with those cells to help you with more energy, feel stronger during workouts, and preserve healthy and mobility as you start to age. The patented ingredient is MitoPure. Funny, I got to do this read today. A postbiotic nutrient that clears our dysfunctional mitochondria, aka your cells' battery packs. With regular use, you'll see and feel the difference in the form of improved energy levels, better workouts, faster recovery, more endurance, and more. MitoPure is the only supplement clinically proven to rejuvenate health at the cellular level. MitoPure is shown to deliver double-digit increases in muscle strength and endurance without a change in exercise. Get ready to be your best, most energized, most revitalized you. Right now, Timeline is giving you 10% off your order at and of MitoPure. Go to timeline.com/DLLS today to get started. Timeline.com/DLLS.
Thanks, Luds. Now it's my turn to talk about FOCO. You can get fitted in the best sports gear around: hoodies, shoes, signs, bobbleheads, and everything in between. Whether you're going to a basketball or hockey game, show off your love with team-branded friendship bracelets. You can get jackets, beachwear, even overalls, as Luds likes to say in Wisconsin, bibs. There's something for every fan for almost every occasion. And you can even get set decorations. Right behind me, I'm pretty sure that what we saw from FOCO is right here. Some awesome pieces for our sets. I believe maybe part of the mural over there as well, but I could be completely wrong. Maybe some of the stuff back in here. Yeah, it's FOCO. Check out and show some love for FOCO going to FOCO.com. Click on the link in the description below. For all non-presale items, use the promo code DLLS10 for 10% off. All right, so let's go to the third period now. And there was a really funny exchange. It wasn't really funny from a Stars fan perspective as they saw their team struggling. At the end of the second period, Mason Marchment gets called for tripping. He actually got called for Devon Toews tripping his own teammate, Cale Makar, by the old corkscrew, or the can opener, the stick between the skates, and it was friendly fire. And because he was engaged in trying to battle with Toews, Marchment actually got called for that by being in the vicinity. Luds, referees are human too. They make mistakes sometimes. And once they make a call and then go to the intermission, they can't go back and say, you know what, we got that wrong. Let's change it. This is one of those things where Mike Hike has said this before, and I agree with him. It would be wonderful if they had some sort of off-ice, eye-in-the-sky referee that could be watching the game, see something, go, hey, before you start a power play, this is a clear and obvious mistake. Let's get this right. But that's not how the game is officiated. Sometimes you got to take the good with the bad.
I don't even know if somebody sitting in the eye in the sky could see it, to be honest with you. Because I don't know if it is, unless they're watching on a
That's
screen.
what
They
I'm
get to see
saying. Yeah.
replays. I just wonder how much that's going to slow the game down. How many times are you going to do that? But in the referee's defense, he's standing behind three big guys, right, going behind the net. And because it happened right behind the net, I think the referee that's out in the neutral zone can't see it.
I'm sure he could. Yeah.
It. And I also did like whether Taze did it on purpose or not, but Taze, as it's all happening, he's throwing his hand up in the air like, come on, that, so it just made it all look. I think it was a hard call, and it was nice to see that when the period started. After that, and the period started, referee goes over to the penalty box, and Marchman has a little chat with him, and I like that he was smiling because he wasn't giving it to him. He goes like, hey, I don't know if you got a chance to look at that back there, which they probably did.
Oh,
but
positive.
Yeah, and just said, hey, bottom line is you owe us one. That's what it is. And I don't know, did the Stars get another? Yeah, they got another power play after that, didn't they? I don't know if it really worked out that way.
They did not.
They didn't?
No.
Well, maybe they'll get it in the playoffs.
You just thought that because Colorado had 80 players on the ice for
it seemed like they had too many men on the ice tonight.
I guess in one way, and to that point, we kept expecting that they're going to make that one up. You heard the TNT broadcaster say it. I think it was Eddie Olczyk say, oh, they got that wrong. They'll make that one up. They never did. I don't want a referee to try to correct a bad call with another bad call.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll see a softer touch. You want to go, oh, it's a makeup call. I don't want that. But when there's 6 or 7 players on the ice, and it's not a 6-inch difference here. We're talking about there are 7 guys on the ice, or 6 in this case. Boy, that seemed like a big miss. But I don't know if that was going to be the difference in the game, but we were looking for that. The power play carryover, Arturi Lehkonen had a really good chance. We didn't like the way that he was able to slip between both of the Stars forwards on a pass from, Luds, there you go again. You're talking about getting down in Gretzky's office. So it's behind the net and a quick pass to Lehkonen. And because everybody's now looking the wrong way, Wyatt's on one side, Jamie's on the other. They can't let that happen between them, right?
Yeah, it's hard to pick everybody up, and there's sometimes you can take your skates and try to turn them sideways and take as much space as you can when guys are trying to throw pucks out in front of the net. But it's difficult to get around, and then it's how you lose your guys in front, especially when you're playing that way.
Yeah. It's fun to watch players with how smart they are at hockey IQ, like Lehkonen on that play before the pass is even off the stick. Who was it behind the net that made the pass? Do you remember?
Trying to remember.
Whoever it was makes the pass from behind the net before the pass is even off the stick. Lehkonen's lifting the stick of Wyatt.
It wasn't McKinnon, was it?
I'm not sure. It was a righty, but I don't remember. But he lifts the stick of Wyatt out of the way before the pass comes, so that when it gets there, Wyatt has no chance of defending it, and that's something you learn as a young player. But we'd like to see Jamie or someone to have his stick tied up. But that's something cool to watch once in a while. It's just such a smart play.
Well, the Avs ended up getting a power play instead, and they had a bunch of chances on him. For everybody bagging on Jake Ottinger today, for especially the overtime goal, which we'll get to, boy, was he good on the penalty kill. He stopped Necas, I believe, 4 times and Drouin once, all on that one-man advantage. It was Nichushkin for interference. But again, they kept setting up Necas. Ottinger kept making the save.
Necas, pretty good player.
He is.
And especially when you put him with, the supporting cast that they have. It's obviously big body, skates well, goes to the net, has some finish to him. So, it's not finished like the Rantanen guy that left, but no pun intended.
That was nice.
But
that was nice.
See how he did that night.
Yeah, hey-o.
But I just think that they're probably happy. They're not happy that they lost, Rantanen, but I think prior to this he had 6-11 or something like that. So anyway, he's going to be a good player for him.
Did you finish all 12 of your beers during that game? Or was it just 11?
Does it sound like it?
Was it 10 or 11?
So what are you trying to say?
I just couldn't remember. I know
No.
you cracked at least 10, but I wasn't sure.
No, we got an hour of this thing to get
Slice
through.
of pie.
You
Yeah.
still got to get
We
going.
had a little
too.
key lime
I had
pie.
key lime pie
That
for the
was
first
good.
time today. It was
You
good.
didn't even finish your pie.
I didn't, but I ate it.
Just like
I ate
You
some.
didn't even finish it?
No,
No.
he maybe got through half of that,
I
and
ate
I gave
half.
him a small slice
I ate
compared to
half.
what
I got the
I
kids'
You
served.
size.
said you didn't like it.
I got the kid size.
Kid size.
And just like the kid, he only took 2 bites and then said he was done.
You said I
You
only need
finished
2
your pie,
bites.
Luds?
You said 2 bites, and then I could go play
Oh,
video
yeah.
games.
He's going to finish his chicks.
Yep, there's a joke there, but I'm going to leave it at that. Mikko Rantanen had a heck of a chance, point blank in front, got his own rebound, had another one, almost tried to bank a third one in. That was his best chance to score in the game. Wedgwood made an excellent save there.
Ugh.
What?
That's not all you got to say. As well.
I just give Wedgwood so much credit because he's such a
Who are you giving credit to?
That's a way to sum it up. Whoa.
Wedgwood.
Little caveman.
I
Is
just give
that
him
Wedwood's brother?
Yeah, Wedwood. You know what? I can't say the word projected either when I do the sleeper reads.
It's
I always say
pro.
projected.
It's not
I just skipped
it's projected.
but I just skipped the
You
J.
just said projected.
But I skipped the J too. That was the point. It's
I'd
been a
just like
long
to-
day. It's been
John,
a long
if you
day.
had marked
everybody.
that, he said projected.
It's been a long day. Well, my point was Wedgwood is a smaller goalie with very small legs, and he looks it when you see him play.
You guys
but
should
he-
be twins.
But he makes some great saves low, which is really surprising to me.
Man, we're having fun now.
Yeah,
You're bagging on
we are all having
Your
fun
ass
here.
talking about we.
you guys bagging on Wedgwood. He made an unbelievable save on Jamie Benn right before
I
the
just
Stars'
credited
second
him.
goal. A really, really good save to
Look
deny.
at all this chaos going
Ben.
on, and Owen's still trying to get the chances in here. He's just cutting through all this chaos. Aren't
Trying
you?
to
I
just
like
keep it going.
You have to talk
No,
through
yeah.
people. I do it to
Yeah,
you
we're
all
just-
the time.
Well, at some point when he says something that gets my brain spinning sideways, if I don't go back to what we know, Luds, I feel like I'd end up going, what?
I got it. He's
Yeah.
gonna finish his chicks.
That's right. We got
Like
to got to soldier on and power through. So he makes a great save on Ben. They work the puck around to the point. Dumbo with a shot, got another save, and then Bork in that scrambly rebound finds a way to get it home. Nice goal.
The
10
only
goals
thing-
now for the rookie.
The only thing I put down was persistence. You know, and I think that in a way, I think that may sum up what we've seen from Bork. Like there's it. I think it reminds me a little bit of Stankoven. You know, when you're in front of the net, I mean, he keeps on digging, and he's got that lower stance. He gets his feet spread, and I'm sure he's tough to move out of the front of the net, but pays the price to go in there, and it's nice to see a guy do that and get rewarded.
And he's tied with Stankoven in rookie goals with 10.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say they're highlight goals, right?
Most
they're
of them are right there.
greasy goals.
Most of them have been right there.
Yeah, he scores his goal in the paint a lot of times.
20 seconds later, it's tied. It's amazing. The Stars have been vastly outplayed. Their offenses look completely sleepy, or a razor word for you, soporific. And all of a sudden, it's a tie game because Matt Duchene scores on a rebound. It's his 26th of the year. The first shot from Lindell, good low off the pad. I just don't like what Wedgwood did there. I thought he should have controlled that because it wasn't some blistering rocket from the point. It was a wrist shot, but he just kind of spits it back, and there's Duchene right on the doorstep.
I like what he did. I mean, you're talking as if he's still on this team.
Who, Wedgwood?
Yeah,
Well, I'm saying from a goalie perspective.
I like
if-
what he did.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Kick
He's
the
saying
rebound back up.
as a goalie.
I don't know.
As a
No,
goalie.
from a Stars perspective, it's great. From a hockey analytical side of it, that's not really great from your goalie.
But the other thing is, you have to be behind him to see. Did he see
Yes.
everything clearly?
Right.
That's
Right.
why sometimes you got to defend him. I thought it was a great play by Duchene because he kicks the rebound out, and it hits Duchene in the skate, like these skilled guys do. They don't panic and they just kind of take their time. He
collects.
cradles the puck
Crazy.
and he pulls it to his forehand and puts it into an empty net.
That kind of, I was just looking through the rest of it. It felt like this one was going to overtime after that. There were some chances each side.
We were hoping it would.
Yeah, Stars were hoping it would.
I think
that's for
Dallas
sure.
was at the point because, and we'll get into this with our super chats too, where they were probably on the verge of, well, one's better than zero, thinking that they were going to go over on this trip. And then Cale Makar does Cale Makar things in overtime. 34 seconds into overtime, unassisted.
Hated this goal.
Luds, what'd you see as far as defensively? Is this just a special player doing special things, or are there some mistakes along the way?
Well, there was a little space, I think, created for Makar because it looked like, was it Harley and Wyatt? Because you saw from behind, you saw Thomas take his stick and kind of, it looked like he was pointing at Wyatt and wanted him to move over to the right. Wyatt didn't. And I think that's what opened up a little space for Makar. Not that he needs anybody to open up any space for him. And then once he cuts in, and Sam spotted this, like Jake's got his glove up, you know, and as Makar comes across, you know, and he comes across as a righty on his forehand side, and he goes back against the grain. I mean, it's a beautiful goal. But I think Jake was all ready for him to cut across fast and go upstairs. And it looks like it's easy to say that, man, that he needs to make that save, which I think a lot of us are thinking that. But I think maybe Jake may have had, instead of reading what was going to happen, he maybe had his mind kind of set on, here's where I think he's going to go.
Yeah, I just didn't like, I understand it's 3-on-3, it's chaotic, it's some of the best players in the world, but the thing, I don't like two things about this goal, and that's MacKinnon and Nelson run into each other at the blue line. So that means that there's two Avalanche players up outside of the zone while this rush is going on, meaning that the Harley-Johnston combo, you can be harder on it, right? You know that the guys are back there. They're not going to score a goal right now with Makar. Just be a little harder on that puck. Johnston can be a little harder on him. Harley can step up a little bit more. That's number one. Number two is I think Ottinger does exactly what we were just talking about and overplays it, thinking it's going to be a short side high shot, which I understand. But if you see where he shoots the puck from at the end of it, it's a shot from the circle that goes low against the grain and not very fast. I just think you have to make a save. I think I fully understand the chaotic best players in the world and all that. I just think you need either the defenseman to stop that rush or you need a goalie to make a save on that play.
What the good news is, though, is you can actually give that to Jake when you see him at the rink.
Yeah.
And just say it exactly the way you said it.
I'm sure he'll say it before
and we
anyone
would like
else
it
does.
recorded because we want to hear you.
That's the thing about Jake, though, is he'll say that too. He'll say, yeah, that last goal. I mean, I was thinking that he admits it, and I love that about him. I talked to him after the Anaheim game, I think, and did like a little one-on-one with him. And the first thing he brought up was, that last goal in an Anaheim game. You know what I was trying to do? Like, he fully understands when he's not making the save he should, and I believe that's one he agrees with.
Suddenly,
we'll be waiting for the report back.
Yeah, I want to hear that. Yeah. So Stars lose, they get a point. I think 9 out of 10 games when they play like this, they're not going to win it, especially against Colorado. We will talk about lots of things, including everything on your Super Chat list, next here on the DLS Dallas Stars postgame show.
I got to read something. Let's talk about Monarch Money. I was just looking for it. That was my pause. Finances can be messy and confusing, but Monarch Money can make it easy. They act like your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control so you can stop just earning and start growing. It's more than just your average budgeting app. Monarch Money is a complete financial command center for your accounts, investments, and goals. Makes it easy. Don't just manage your money. Start building your wealth with Monarch Money. Without a clear financial picture, financial dreams can feel out of reach, but Monarch makes it simple by putting all of your accounts, credit cards, and investments in one place. They call it the Command Center because that is where you can go for everything. Get control of your overall finances with Monarch Money. Use code DLLS at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code DLLS.
Thank you, Sam. Let's talk about Shady Rays. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Look at the sun outside. The days are getting longer. You don't want to be squinting in the bright Texas sun, whether it's March, which is by all definitions springtime around here, or the death heat that's to come here in the summertime. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product with durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor adventures. Hundreds of styles and options to choose from. You're bound to find the perfect pair, maybe even in your favorite team's colors. Plus, they have lost and broken replacements protection and a worry-free return policy within 30 days so that you know you will get the ones you like. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com. Use the code DLLS for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. All right. Light them up, those super chats. Send them your way. Let's talk about this game and anything else we want to do.
Let's do it.
We have a big show coming up tomorrow. and then the Stars play again on Tuesday, starting a homestand, and then another big show on Wednesday, and then another game and game and game. You see how this schedule is just going to keep on rolling here.
I think Tuesday they're going to crush those guys.
Let's go to our super chats.
I believe that they are going to crush these guys tonight.
Bing bong.
And by the
I
way,
think that's where
it
it
doesn't
started,
just
Joe.
have to be a super chat for a comment or a question. It can also be a drop request. We're cool with that too. So Jeremy's 3 Jaws pieces.
So I believe this is the artist formerly known as Ludz's giant shin pads or whatever that was.
Oh, wasn't he the one who got a
That's the same
timeout?
Photo.
He got a timeout last game, wasn't it? Wasn't it that him?
He was put in timeout for 10 minutes. He was
Yeah,
not
10 minute
banned.
misconduct.
Welcome back.
Yeah, see, it's the same photo.
I hope you learned.
Well, we got a Kyle Capobianco, and a year after the Cup,
He's on the team right now.
he is on the team right now. Thus, I did it. I lost a bet on the Granlund trade. I bet that Granlund would be more impactful than Cece, and that's simply not the case. Granlund is an afterthought so far. He needs to step up. I don't know if I agree with that.
Here's the deal with Granlund, in my opinion. I think maybe we thought a little too much, like you'd see too much offense from him. That's not really what he is. He's that steady guy. He plays in the corners. He plays in front of the net. If you were thinking that you were going to get a bunch of points from him, I don't think that's who he is.
He's got 9 points in 15 games.
Yeah, and I think that's about it. I mean, a half a point a game.
Well,
you know,
just
maybe
think about the
guy
Stars
over his
forwards.
career. I don't know.
Think about the Stars forwards during his time. There's been injuries. There's been a big trade that changed everything around. He's hardly played with the same group for more than a couple of games. He is a Swiss Army knife. He's plug and play in a lot of different places. He's playing right now in a spot we think Tyler Seguin will be.
Yeah, he's probably a third-line guy for playoffs.
I mean, which is great value. I honestly think that Granlund's game goes up when the intensity gets higher. We saw it at the Four Nations. He can be a guy that can win you a game in a series where it's really tight, and all of a sudden Mikael Granlund goes off and has a 3-point game or a couple of goals, and you go, wow, that was huge because the top 2 lines kind of cancel each other out, and then he's the difference in one of those games.
What's Dadonov done in his last 10 to 15 games?
Not
He's
as
got
much.
the same amount of points. Since the trade, Dadonov has 9 points in 15 games. Just like Granlund.
Yeah. So
I mean, if you look at,
but that's what those players are.
yeah.
You
I
know
mean,
what
look above it. Robertson, Johnston, Duchesne, Hintz, Harley, Ben, Dadonov, or Ben. That's above Dadonov and Granlund. Are you expecting Dadonov or Granlund to have more points than any of those guys?
No.
No,
I think
but
he's
I
right
think
where he
what
needs
Lutz
to
is
be.
saying is that if they were producing at any higher rate, they'd be getting a higher paycheck.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think you need those
They
players
are playing
to be higher.
and the other thing is we're getting down to 70 games or so. They're not in their 20s, right? I mean, Dodonov's what 34, 35, and Granlund's in the same
35,
neighborhood.
I think.
So, these are kind of guys. I think what you're hoping for is when, especially Granlund, you see the benefits in the playoffs. Being that grinding kind of guy and detailed in his own end and does things the right way and plays in the right areas of the ice.
And I think that people want desperately to see the Stars go in and get a result against Winnipeg or in Colorado today, so you can go, see, we're better than them, and this proves it. The proof isn't going to come until the playoffs when they play in a 7-game series.
Yeah.
This is not, as Pete said before the Winnipeg game, I know some people in one super chat didn't like that sort of talking point saying they're setting theirs up to be mediocre by saying this isn't for the Stanley Cup. But what it is it's preparing everybody, especially the public, for the fact that there's 82 games, and 1 out of 82 is a very small percentage of your overall season's performance. Stars have been very good all season. They have unfortunately not won in 3 of their last 4. But I'm stealing a line from Ardell in the chat earlier when he said a lot of people seem to be on the Six Flags ride right now, which is the roller coaster, high and low. You've got to kind of ease that out, because if you get too high after 4 or 5 wins in a row, they're going to humble you some way. And if you get too low after a couple losses, they'll dig their way out. Even today, after 2 periods, this team didn't look good at all. They found a way to score 2 goals and get a point out of it. We should kind of celebrate that they got a results on a really lousy performance for most of the game from a lot of the players.
My article today has 4 thoughts because I had already basically written the whole thing with 5 minutes left, and they flipped the script and ended up earning a point. That sounds silly, but like that is, they came from the dead, and they've done that a few times where, like, I think I wrote it in the article, the Stars have found a way to, even when they have lackluster performances or underwhelming games, get a point or get wins. The problem now is making sure those become little more few and far between, right? And little less consistent with the lackluster performance.
And I think that from the coaching staff, we're going, okay, well, we see what we have against Winnipeg. We see what we've had against Colorado, two of the top teams, in this division. Here's what we need to figure out what we need to do, especially against Colorado, probably, the way it seems to be heading. We've got, whatever it is, 15, 16 games to – you come out of here and you go, okay, here's how we have to play against – this is me. This is how we have to play against Colorado game 1 of the playoffs. So let's start working on those things our next 15 games. Regardless of your opponent, obviously you want to win the game, but there's things that you need to shore up or however you want to look at it. Let's make sure that we're on top of all of those things. And you look at this game tonight, besides an energy level and that meter being a little low, that you can correct. But there's things in the game that you saw from Colorado today that you can make them do something different. And I think what you do is you go, what's their strength? And you take that away as soon as you can, and then you can go to the next one. I know we're going to obviously say MacKinnon and Makar, and there may be ways to you're not going to shut them down, but you'd like to keep them a little bit quieter than they normally are.
All right, let's go to the next.
Bing bong.
Ardell with a little Ludwig. Yeah, it's Ludwig. And Ottinger. No way Dallas gets a point today without Otter.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, what did he have? 30-something saves?
It was
32 or something
Didn't they?
33 of 37.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought it was around 31 before that happened.
Yeah, so I mean, he makes some saves. I don't know. I'm trying to remember if he made. He looked crisp early. He looked a lot better than he did Friday. He looked like he was seeing pucks. I don't think he stole any necessarily, but he did make most of the saves he needed to make. So yeah,
today's game was more on the guys in front of him than on him,
for sure.
It was a lackluster performance for a majority of the game.
And that goes back to, you got to push back a little bit on the Avalanche. And when I was looking at the shot, I mentioned the shots after the first period at 13-4. It was 27-10 after 2 periods. That's 27 is a game's worth for Dallas over the last little stretch.
It's crazy to see. I wrote this in the article as well, just a little bit. But the Stars were, I think they were 8th in the NHL before that trade for Rantanen, with like 29 shots per game. And I know it's a small sample size now. I think it's only 5 or 6 games. But since they're 29th with 21. That's a pretty big drop off. Is that something to worry about, or actually, better question, is that something the coaches are looking at, or is it just they're saying that's a few games?
You may have to change some of your game plan because they are. If you're going to say we're a puck possession team and our team has changed a little bit, and you're going to play against this team, which is a team that controls the play a little bit. Do we have to add a little bit of a Carolina game to it, to where we're directing more pucks to the net because they play tight in their end, and it's difficult getting things into that high-quality scoring area? Do we have to get pucks there, then bodies get there, versus trying to get the body and the puck there at the same time?
Let's go to the next one.
Bing bong.
Reed Thomas with a Haskin and a 99 cup here. Luds, if you were the coach, what would your message be to the team after looking awful for 5 of 6 periods versus 2 top teams in the West?
Guys, sorry, I just got fired. Good luck.
I like it.
No, like I just said, I just, it's hard for me to, I mean, when they're rolling, and for the majority of the year, once they got going, they're a difficult team to play against. And I just think when you get into the playoffs, or before you get there may be some things you have to tweak a little bit. And they got a smart coaching staff. They know what they're up against. There's going to be a few changes, I'm sure. Will it be more on the defensive side of things to defend the Avs? Again, I keep saying that because I think that's who they're going to meet. And I'm really hoping that they kind of go on a little bit of a run here, because I don't want to see this thing flip-flop, where you're starting in Colorado. Yeah. I think that the upside is you want to start at home. But I would try, like I just said, I would try to like to play a little bit more direct. I think if there's a weakness on that team, I think it's their goaltending, when our goaltender is who we expect him to be. I think with Makar there and Taves, I think they're not a stellar defensive core, but they have a really, obviously, an elite defenseman, and his partner is a really good defenseman. And then they've got some, a couple weapons up front. Like I said, Nichushkin's got to be shut down to me. That's a guy that you got to take out of the equation if you can. Nobody's been able to do it when he's on his, and the same with MacKinnon. So I just think that it's got to be more of a territorial battle where we're not allowing some of the open ice coming up and being able to spend quality time in your own zone.
Yeah, it feels like an important homestand here.
Yeah.
Right? To kind of flip it. They went, 3-0 in the last homestand, so 4 games in a row here at home against 2 of them against very inferior opponents with the Ducks and Philly, and then they play Minnesota and Tampa. Good chance to go 3-1 here and kind of turn this around.
Let's go to the next super chat.
Bing bong.
Burned Oils with a little Brendan Smith and Miro Heiskanen. Luds, I'm disappointed they didn't win this one for your birthday.
That's okay, as long as they win game 83 and beyond. That's okay. I don't expect any team to go flat out rolling into the playoffs and win every game going in. It's the little tweaks that I'm looking forward to. I love it when you get into game 1 against this team, especially when you just played them a month earlier, and see how you make the adjustments.
What was your favorite part of year 63?
Of what?
Your 63rd year on this round earth.
Technically, you're wrong.
We don't have enough time for that.
If you're asking for the year he just finished, was his 64th, because we don't start at 1.
The way I look at it is every day I wake up and I'm not spitting dirt, it's a good day.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's just, you got.
Was that today, or were you spitting dirt today?
I'll say the same thing tomorrow morning.
Isn't it usually that you've been wheelbarrowing dirt around the yard as opposed to spitting it?
Nah, I'm not 6 foot under.
No, I'm saying is that you're moving, you're doing all your landscaping.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
You're not spitting it,
those
you're
things
carrying
don't
it.
stop. It's just you keep going.
Let's go to the next one.
We got to hit a break.
Oh, we got to hit a break. So let's do that next, and then we'll do more super chats here on the DLS Dallas Stars post-game show. So here's the crazy thing. I actually don't know the answer to this because I went on the DLS website this morning, and it said that the Die Hard program was still at $36 for the year.
I thought our last game was.
It was, but for some
well,
reason,
it might be a typo, so jump on it.
I was just saying, if it's still
gonna look
there,
right now.
I'm not telling you it's still
I'm
available.
gonna look right now.
It's still available.
Oh, it's still.
Oh, it
available.
is. It was supposed to end the other night, Friday night at midnight. Well, technically, that would be Saturday morning at midnight.
Is that because the GM's on a cruise right now and doesn't know it?
Probably.
All right.
Probably.
Take
My
advantage
bad.
of it.
That's really.
Use the QR code down below.
Luz,
Luds
I think
on the
you
screen.
were supposed to turn it off.
Yeah,
That's
the
what it
job.
I was
was.
supposed to
That's
get
the
in there and-
problem.
yeah. Okay.
So
Show me the switch.
why do I suggest that? Well, we had a big NFL free agency frenzy special. Instead of $79.99 for the year, it was only $36 to be your diehard for the first year. Whether or not that's still active, who's to say? Not me. I'm just here doing our show. But as I look at this, I see Lud's wearing the DLS flag shirt. Sam's wearing the DLS, is that the Nux sweatshirt? I've got the
Tie-dye.
little pocket flag shirt. It's just a shirt with the DLS on one little, where your soccer crest would normally
John's
be.
sporting his
That reminds
Philly.
me of the Cleveland Indians.
this one.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, from the side. I've never seen it.
So anyway,
Yeah, you're
you
not-
could get a shirt like one of these,
Not that you
or, because you get a free shirt with your DLS Die Hard subscription. How about this shirt?
Oh
Yeah.
I love
That's
that.
nice.
Look
I
at
love
that
that.
one. The Finnish Mafia, DLS,
Thought we were all gonna be wearing
Stars.
that.
That's nice.
and I'm guessing that in the scope of balance, DLS is 4 letters, that they did Tex, TEXS on the other side instead of Texas, which was only one more letter.
Yeah,
I'm
At least
really
they didn't do
hoping-
Tatus.
we love taking out the vowels,
Or at least one of them.
or at least one of them
I'm hoping
sometimes.
our show or the
John with a baseball joke.
the cruise master is sending all the Finns one of those shirts.
Oh, my goodness.
They need to be wearing those.
They should be wearing them. That
Wouldn't
would
it be great
That'd
if
be good.
we ordered Finnish Mafia shirts and we delivered them to the 5 Finnish players on the Stars? Or you?
Well, I'm not going to be part of the delivery.
I'll deliver
process,
it.
But yeah, there you go.
They'll, and
Little
and one of them they'll say to me, "Where do I sign?" They won't recognize me. They'll think I'm a delivery guy.
No, all you have to do is say you get the shirt if you come on the show,
That's fair.
Oh,
That's fair.
Now we're talking.
or
Now
come
we're-
on the show and we'll give it to you on the show.
I like that. Yeah. Get the shirt for being on the show. So, alldls.com, you can get access to all the writing ad-free on the DLS website, whether it's on your phone or your laptop or whatever device. You also get access to the Discord, which is only available to diehards, and they have a lot of fun in there, especially our Stars channel inside the Discord. They seem to be a particularly lively bunch. A lot of them are in our chat right now, and we very much appreciate them. And we're only 10 days away from our Cosm.
Yes, Cosm coming up.
Stars and Oilers at Cosm, the big dome screen that looks like.
All I got to say is
IMAX
make sure you
theater.
tune in for the post-game show for that one.
Yeah, it's gonna. Well, I can't be together. That's unfortunate.
Well,
Gotta
we
be
will
so
be together,
lonely.
and then we're just gonna do a remote broadcast.
Yeah,
well, regardless.
My bathroom again.
Luds, you gonna get an Uber home? So
I
you
was
can
going to see if I could do it from Cosm.
just figure out
Let's
a way.
just do it from your
From the
truck.
car.
Just do it from your car.
Yeah.
Let's all be in his car.
Just sit in
I'll
Luds'
do it
car.
from the police car.
We could call it the CarCast.
Yeah, there you
Isn't
go.
that creative? I just came up with that.
Yeah,
on my
no
own.
one's ever used that before.
Isn't that your thing?
Yeah, that's why I made the joke.
Who were you doing that with?
Sean,
Oh,
He's doing it with the.
what does that mean?
That's what Sean does when he's on our show, trying to get
Oh,
a word in.
oh, you mean trying to get paid? Yeah, I would interrupt him a fair amount. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So let's do some more super chats.
Bing bong.
And thank you for all those who've signed up to be diehards already. Speaking of talk hockey with me, Sam, here's Jordan with a Haskin and 99. Is the sky falling, John?
The sky is falling.
I'm seeing a lot of ruffled feathers, but I still don't think the Stars are all doom and gloom. Go Stars. It is funny when a team has a couple of games where they're not very good
Well,
and people lose it because they're third in the West.
I can understand it because of the two opponents they just played.
Yes.
That it might even be different if you lost to Anaheim and Philly or something like that.
That drives me nuts on a whole different level.
But when you're not having your best output or performance against teams that you expect to and have to probably go through to get to where you want to go,
Yeah,
that's a little more concerning.
Is it
Right, it's gotta
easier
add
to
it to it,
talk yourself out of it, Sam, if they played poorly and lost? And you say, well, this isn't their best game. Or would you rather see them play well and go, wow, that was a heck of a hockey game. Either team could have won.
I'd like to see them play well because not even for the result, just the intensity and the focus and all those things. It's tough to. I'm not saying this is the case. I fully believe in this team when it comes to playoffs, but it's tough to watch them go into Colorado and into Winnipeg and basically get outplayed for 55 minutes in many of those games, 50 minutes maybe tonight or today, and think, wow, that they're going to have it when they play them in the playoffs. I understand it's the playoffs and all those things, but those are literally the two teams they're going to have to beat to make it to the Western Conference Final, and they didn't show up against them.
So for me, where the current concern was the game today because of the Dallas Stars, or was it because of what the Colorado Avalanche did to the Dallas Stars?
Yep.
That to me, because one, you can correct a little bit more.
Mhm.
Your own performance. You know, we didn't have a good game today. If it's something that Colorado is doing to you and they found something today that, yeah, that's how we're going to get, that would be.
What did you see in the last two games, Luds, in that theme, Winnipeg and Colorado, in terms of trying to deal with Dallas's high flip breakout that they like to do?
Again, if they send two guys out of the zone, which a lot of times they do, they have a little bit better opportunity recovering pucks. When they send one guy against the two, because they're waiting for the punt return back there. I mean, they all know what it is. I mean, and what's happening is you're almost kind of picking off the one guy, and then the second guy can kind of get back and regroup it. So, but my thing is like they had a hard time against two teams to me that outpossessioned them, because I thought there was a little more puck management, and I don't even know analytically what the puck time was, zone time and things like that. But it seemed like from the breakouts to going through neutral to getting into the offensive zone, the two teams that they just got done playing had the edge, and Dallas didn't have as much in the offensive zone.
And you notice that they really took away some of Dallas, or I don't know if that's that sort of question, chicken or the egg. Is it that they took away the Stars' transition game through the neutral zone, or was Dallas's game just kind of sloppy and not there where they want it to be?
I'm hoping it was just sloppy.
Yeah.
Because again, possession time says a lot, and we know that both of these teams are good possession. And I think Winnipeg is a little bit more dump into the offensive zone. Colorado seems more like a possession team for their zone all the way into the zone. They're a little bit, but they both have recipes. Winnipeg's had the recipe all year long against every single team they played. but they're not afraid to put pucks into the offensive zone, and then they have a way of outworking teams and getting it back.
And correct me if I'm wrong, the Winnipeg game felt like Dallas gave them some of their stuff. Winnipeg did a great job against them, but Dallas also burnt pucks up, fed their transition. Today didn't feel as much like that, right? It felt almost like Dallas didn't create. They didn't turn it up their way, but it also didn't feel like they were just feeding Colorado coming back at them.
It didn't seem like Dallas had another gear today.
Yeah.
It seemed like a tired team. Let's hope that's what it was.
Let's go.
Did it have something to do with the first game back for Mikko Rantanen?
I think there's definitely something in there. Too.
Just their focus.
Okay,
is
so before we go to the next super chat, that's a really good point because now I'm disappointed that they don't play Colorado again in Dallas because I'd like to see 2 versus 2 because Dallas won their home game. They lost the 2 games in Denver this year. If they were balanced in the division, they'd play 4. But on the flip side, Luds, now they don't have to do this again. Mikko's done his media circuit, both in Dallas for the first time, back in Colorado. Now he can get down to just playing hockey between now and the playoffs.
Let's hope so.
And some home games. He'll get his first chance to play in front of the Dallas Stars fans at home on Tuesday night against Anaheim. I have a feeling that there's going to be a heck of a positive reception, and I think that'll play really well for this team.
I'm hoping they find a way to not or to eliminate foot race plays and where they're basically having more numbers around. And again, when numbers are spread out because that's the way you play, there aren't as many bodies in the same area. I like it when there's a lot of bodies in the same area and you force the other team to have to go through that. And I've said this before, is like Razor has always had a good cliche, and he'll talk about if you're wearing a wool sweater and you're trying to crawl through like a picket fence, that you get stuck up and you get tangled up in the fence. And because when you play against the Colorado team and you leave them and you leave open areas of ice, they can weave their way up. You got to make them go through 3-4 guys through the neutral zone.
Yep.
You think it's important that Mikko played this game today instead of game?
Oh, for sure.
3 of us.
He needed to get this game out of the way.
Seemed like
the team needed to get it out of the way.
I feel like if they went, let's say the standings finish how they did, and Mikko's first game back in Colorado was game 3 of a Stanley Cup first round. Feels like that could linger longer than let this happen. Now you got 15 games. Go finish the season.
How was Rantanen today?
He had an assist.
How would you got on a scale if you got 1 to 5? Was he average? Was he a 2? Was he a 3? Because I don't think he was above a 3.
No,
this is my opinion.
I think that he didn't really take the game the way we've seen him that he can do it.
And I think,
so he wasn't awful. So maybe a 1, maybe
2.5.
Okay.
Made some good plays on the wall.
Yeah,
some good
and
passes.
I think that's fair for anybody that's an elite player. The way the whole thing went down, coming back to your guys, and he had dinner or, I don't know, kumbaya, whatever they did for the last 24 hours, that's out of the way. Now it's business. I think it's better, to answer your question, it's better that this happened now than in game 1 of the playoffs when they get on the road.
Now come back and just be focused
and
on
for the
beating
group
that team.
too. Yeah.
And think about it, is that Patrick Sharp told me when he was in Chicago for a long time, right? They won a lot. He won 3 Stanley Cups. He got traded to Dallas because of cap issues with the Blackhawks. And I remember he told me that it was good to play Chicago and Dallas the first time because it's a bunch of his former teammates that he was really close with. He said, but the emotional one is going to Chicago. So going to Denver it's the building, it's the fans, it's going to the other locker room. It's not just about the guys on the ice. It's the scene, the surrounding area. That's the hardest part. It's not just playing, because this, Luds. You get out on the ice playing a pickup game against your buddies. The first thing you want to do is beat them senseless and win because everyone's competitive. But it's where you are that makes it so hard.
And the other thing is Mikko's a skilled player. Like he's not a run you over kind of player. So I think the edge actually goes to Colorado because they can take the skill away. It's not like he's going to come in and bowl over a bunch of guys.
Right.
So it's a little easier to kind of take that guy away. But Rantanen's just got to be able to get the puck on his tape from the tops of the circles in the offensive zone down, and who he plays with, he can be dangerous.
I'd like to thank everybody who joined in on our television platforms today. Make sure to like and subscribe here on the pod and check out alldlls.com. Okay, more super chats as we wrap things up here on the Stars postgame show. after an overtime loss in Colorado. Who do we have, John?
Bing bang.
Last one from
The drop request.
I believe he is requesting the Lud's birthday drop compilation from the pregame show.
From Jay
and
Anderson.
Unfortunately, no, I have it. Here it is.
Tomahawk City. Say yeah.
I did not have sexual relations with that.
Miller Lite.
Each time I hear that, I hear a different part.
Is that true? You did not have any sexual relations with Miller
And
Lite?
I didn't say 3/4 of them things,
No,
so
no.
I don't get it.
It's just a big
It's just him
mashup.
because and you
random
can
things.
see he's mouthing along with all of them. Like
I literally have
you've
not mouthed
rehearsed
along.
this.
I was accused of this in the pregame show as well. I have not mouthed along to any of them.
We're watching you
like
do
when
it.
you were at the
I'm
Taylor
literally-
Swift concert.
Luds, I'm leaned back here. You can't see me.
No, that you weren't. You were
You're
sitting
like
straight. You were
Ottinger.
sitting straight
I'm
up,
like
and your
Ottinger
lips
with a
were moving.
one-timer coming out.
You look like a little
Okay,
chicken
I'm
up there. I
screened by
saw
the
your
screen.
lips moving to every one of them words.
You see
did
what
not.
you
Let's
started.
go to the tape.
T Farmer. Okay. I believe Sam has to do a sleeper leaderboard.
How do you do?
Let's do that. How you doing, Sam? Oh boy.
I'm still here. I haven't been good lately, boys. I'll tell you. Third is
Did this not
appreciated.
count today?
Not today yet.
Well, you
which
didn't win today
I'm pretty
either.
sure I was over 3 today, so I'm going to continue
John
falling on this
well,
board.
we got a 4-game homestand. John is going to pick you up.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I should be better, and I pick some. Sometimes I'm like, oh, Connor McDavid, Nathan MacKinnon, and they don't do it for me.
How
It's
about
like
that,
they just
Luds?
pause.
Nate McKinnon doesn't get a point for the 3rd straight game. He's awful. Cut him.
Yeah,
The one time I picked
bench
him.
him.
I will say though, Bobby, I know he's also 500, but 2 losses is tough.
You know, you're literally now 1 and 2.
Yeah.
It's just this isn't updated with today's
Is this
performance.
updated? It's not updated.
It's
Can
from
we just
before today.
let's just pretend I'm up there? Look at Jeff just riding high.
So what is your record today?
I think I'm 1 and 2.
By the way, that's Jeff, our Rangers writer. Jeff, not Jeff, our Cowboys host.
Yes.
So,
2 Jeffs.
yep, 2 Jeffs.
Someone who I think it was Allie said is Hot Jeff is the Cowboys. She said Hot Sam and Hot Jeff tied.
That's what she
for
said.
second. She said the other day. So I guess there's
What was that?
there's a Hot Sam.
My name is Jeff.
Never seen
Jeff.
21 Jump Street?
Yeah, it's a great movie.
I do remember that now. Okay.
DLLS sleeper.
Coming up next, or our next show, is tomorrow at 1 o'clock Central Time. We will be, I think, here in the lounge. That sound right? Nope. We'll be in the podcast studio. But we will have a very special guest for you. Former Stars assistant general manager, now broadcaster up in Canada, Craig Button will be joining the show. For the whole show, Sean will be here. We'll all be here. So it'll be a nice packed house. And you can't find a nicer guy, and a really, really smart hockey mind who has a history here with the Stars, and of course, really dialed in with almost everything prospect related as far as the draft goes. We'll get to talk to him about that. I think he was on the call for the Stars Winnipeg game the other night as well, up
He
on
was.
Canadian TV.
He did the game.
Yep.
Yeah. Hockey IQ off the charts. This would be a great time for fans to text or tweet, whatever you do. Tweet in a question.
White.
How about
Tweet in a question.
How about
Send a
Super
tweet.
Chat?
We have a full show
No,
with
but
him,
I think
right?
they need to get him in before.
Let's
him
get
in
right.
before.
let's get some Discords,
So,
let's get some Super Chats.
if you're diehard,
Good idea, Lutz.
Fewer questions from us is always better.
if
Good
you're a
idea, Lud.
diehard,
Send a twite.
Twice.
Just send it over
So
on
Just
a
a
Sam,
combination of a Twitter
hop
and a
on the
tweet.
Discord if you would, Sam.
I'll do it right now.
Okay. And let them know that we are taking questions for Craig Button, that we'll do it at some point during the show.
And it should be future draft picks and
Mhm.
things like Butts is so dialed into the players coming up and through juniors.
You call
and
him
things like-
Butts?
Yeah.
Craig Button.
You can
I
call
love-
him Butts.
No, I love that name. I
Do
love
ya?
that name.
We know
Yeah.
that about you.
I love Butts.
We've
Here we go
heard
again.
that. Now, see, there's one to use.
I love Butts.
John,
That's true.
there's
And
one
we
you
didn't
could
talk
use.
over it either.
I didn't say anything about
I'll
like
look into it.
Write it down.
bathrooms. I just said
I love
bums.
Butts. That actually would be a great drop for him.
But butts don't like Sam, though.
So do that in the Discord. And then, of course, we'll also take Super Chats, and we'll hear from Craig Button tomorrow. Mason Marchman will be part of our Wednesday show. He's going to
Bing
join
bang.
remotely from, I think, 2:30 to
Yeah.
about 3 o'clock or so for the second half of that show. And then in between that, we have Ducks, Lightning, Flyers, and then I'm blanking on
Wild.
the fourth. Minnesota?
Yep.
Oh, Minnesota. All right, we got another super chat, though. Ardell, with a Lundqvist and Dodonov, Dallas can help their puck possession by winning more draws than they did today. The sky is not falling.
The sky is falling.
Clean up the details. That might be one of the viewers' favorite drops.
44%.
Ardell, the
right.
king of everyone's ready to go. Let's slip in a super chat.
Hey, we're here for it, right? Lud's man of the match for today.
You're not going to like it.
Go ahead.
Val Nichushkin.
Why?
I think he's a horse, and even on things that you didn't really notice from him, if you actually watch him, he's a difference maker out there. It's easy. I could say Cale Makar too because he just seems always. But the other guy for Dallas, I would go with Maverick if I was picking a Dallas player. I am dangerous. I'm really starting to like the way his consistency. I think we're starting to see what he does on a nightly basis.
Sam?
I'm going to go Makar, and not just for the winner. I think he controlled a lot of that game. What do you have? Goal and an assist? Or
he had 3 points.
Yeah, so goal and 2 assists.
They scored 4 goals. He factored into 3 of them.
Yeah, and he controlled the game outside of his points as well. I thought he was all over it.
Yeah, I mean, I want to pick Makar as well. I think Luds was pretty good about giving Maverick a hello. That's about it. I mean, Val had 2 points. Drouin had 2, but it was sort of an off-speed pitch. Makar was the best player today.
Yeah.
So, Cale Makar. All right, we are done for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Craig Button, Sean Shapiro, the 3 of us. John will be trying to wrangle all 5 of us as we talk. I'm sure that'll be a lot of fun. Live at 1 o'clock Central Time, right here on DLLS.
See you tomorrow,
Don't forget
butts.
to get on Twitter and wish this guy a happy belated birthday. He had a good birthday, at least from what he remembers, and then he had a little bonus birthday today. Tomorrow's St. Patty's Day. Then you know what that means, Sam?
I'm going to wear it.
Green.
Yeah, I'm going to wear it.
Good.
It has to.
Who else in the level curve say yeah?
I have no shirts left. But
That's good. Lud's, you going to wear your day drinking shirt, or you have another one up?
St. Patty shirts tomorrow.
Just I got to be green, right?
It does have to be green. No, it doesn't have to be the day drinking one. I will be wearing a green DLS shirt, but it will probably not be that one because I don't have one of those. All right.
We'll see you tomorrow.
For John Anderson and these 3 knuckleheads, thanks for joining us. Have a good rest of your Sunday.
Who else in the level curve say yeah?
I did not have sexual relations with that.
Miller Lite.
We all silly like the mayor.